We're gonna have a Japanese election soon, coming up this weekend. And I've been hearing a lot about Sanseito, both from the mainstream media and social medias like TikTok and YouTube. And some of the points that they make, I don't fully disagree, but it kind of scares me because I feel like most of the people who are voting for Sanseito, they seem pretty extreme, they seem a bit xenophobic.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to know your opinion about that party, Sanseito.
Well, I think Sanseito is super interesting because they're quite right wing in their rhetoric. Their whole slogan is like Nippon first, Japan first, and in a way, they seem to be taking like the playbook from Donald Trump. Like they're super big on social media and they say a lot of controversial things to get attention. And they've actually woken up a lot of people in Japan to voting, which is a good thing, right? Because Japan has like a 50 or less percent of the average population voting, which is crazy low for a democracy. And so, in that sense, I think they're good, like a force for good. But I also think that Japan is actually a country that's very conservative, and usually it's behind the Europe and the West in general, like the US, on what's happening and what trends are popular, right? So in the West, you had populism and right-wing rhetoric starting like 10, 15 years ago with immigration increasing. And now, 10 years after, right, you have the same thing happening in Japan. And sadly, I think, sure, being anti-immigrant in itself is nothing wrong. Like, immigrants can cause a lot of issues. And I think if you don't control it and do it the right way, it is a big problem. But just like in Europe and America, I think the issue is that when you blame everything on immigration, you stop fixing the real structural problems. Like, the reason why people feel bad and people feel like they're getting poorer is because they are. And the reason for that is not immigrants. It's because we have a system that is really taking money from the middle class and making rich people richer, while middle class and poor people are actually getting poorer every year, especially with inflation and stuff, right? And to fix those things, it's actually really hard. You have to fix structural issues. You have to fix the tax system. You have to incentivize work and not wealth. And these things are really hard because if you're wealthy, you don't want your money to be taken away. You rather have a party blaming immigrants than a party blaming rich people. So we're seeing this all over the world, now even in Japan, that rich people are funding these anti-immigration parties so that the middle class and poor people that are the majority can focus on voting against immigrants. And then we end up in a situation where the Sanseito party might get a lot of power and a lot of say in Japanese politics. They're gonna say, oh, we need to kick out immigrants, whatever. And, I don't know if that's gonna be good or bad. I don't have an opinion about that. But what I know is that it's not gonna fix the core issue. And when people are getting even poorer, they're gonna do the same thing. They're gonna say, oh my God, we didn't kick out enough immigrants. We need to kick out more immigrants. And this is gonna go on for a while until hopefully people realize that it's not the real issue. Maybe it's too late by then, but I think at some point in the future, hopefully within the next 5 years, we'll see a shift towards people hating more on wealthy people, taking money from the middle class and the poorer people, instead of just blaming immigrants. That's my take.